शुरू कर सकते हैं।
माननीय दत्तोपंत जी के जन्म शताब्दी उत्सव के उपलक्ष्य में जिस प्रकार संपूर्ण विश्व में गोष्ठियां, चर्चाएं, सम्मेलन आदि कार्यक्रम आयोजित किए जा रहे हैं। केन्या में भी उनके विचारों को समझने समझाने कार्यकर्ता को केंद्र में रखकर पुस्तक के अन्य विषयों पर पिछले कुछ सप्ताहों से एक बौद्धिक श्रृंखला चल रही है। उसी कड़ी का 5वां बौद्धिक आज है। विषय है कार्य पद्धति, संघ की कार्य पद्धति। बौद्धिक करता है श्रीमान पक्षीर। आप केन्या एयरवेज में पायलट हैं। संघ की शाखा में आप सन 1990 से आना प्रारंभ किया। उसी शाखा के आप घटनायक, मुख्य शिक्षक और पालक भी रहे। आपने द्वितीय वर्ष का संघ का शिक्षण प्राप्त किया है। अपनी अध्ययनशीलता तथा निष्ठा की बदौलत नगर बौद्धिक प्रमुख और बौद्धिक के दायित्व बखूबी निर्वाह किया। आजकल आप अराइज केन्या में सक्रिय हैं। साथ साथ आवश्यकता अनुसार बौद्ध विभाग में भी हमको सलाह सहयोग देते रहे। इतना परिचय काफी है। शेष अभी उनका जब बौद्धिक होगा तो उनकी जो वक्तृत्व क्षमता है उसका परिचय भी हमको होगा। कृपया शांति से धैर्यपूर्वक एकाग्र होकर सुनेंगे। गीत के बाद
Hirji, you can take the git.
चल चल पुरतो निदेहि चरण, सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण। चल चल पुरतो निदेहि चरण, सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण। गिर शिखरे तव निज निकेतन, समारोहणं विने भयानि। आत्मबलं केवलं साधन, सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण। चल चल पुरतो निदेहि चरण, सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण। पथि पाषाण विषमप्रखर, तिर्यञ्चोऽपि च परितो भूय। सुदुष्कलं खलु यद्यपि गमनं, सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण। चल चल पुरतो निदेहि चरण, सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण। यही हि भित्तिं ऋजवज शक्ति, देहि देहि दे भगवति भक्ति। कुरु कुरु सततं ध्येया स्मरन् सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण चल चल पुरतो निदेहि चरण सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण चल चल पुरतो निदेहि चरण सदैव पुरतो निदेहि चरण.
नमस्कार. माननीय केन्या के संघ चालक, आदरणीय केन्या के कार्यवाहिका, she is not here just yet but she'll join in the next few minutes I believe. केन्या के कार्यवाह एवं सहकार्यवाह, ज्येष्ठ अधिकारीगण, आत्मीय सेविका बहनें तथा स्वयंसेवक बंधुओं, सबको मेरा नमस्कार. And firstly, best wishes to everyone for the Hindu Sangathan Divas, which was just yesterday, according to Hindu calendar, 4th of June this year. Otherwise, it's on Jyesht Shukla Trayodashi. What a wonderful coincidence that the Utsav happened just a day before this Bodhik is about to happen. The Utsav which celebrates Shivaji, who lived with the values of an ideal Karyakarta, and he lived by the Karya Paddhati that Sangh is following now. Even before Sangh was formed, Shivaji followed these values. Over and above this, another wonderful and astronomical and mystical, if I may say, coincidence that has happened today. In 1973, on exactly this day in the English calendar, Pujya Shri Guruji did his last Dhwaj Pranam and Pratna for the last time, and then he went on his final journey. So it's a wonderful day to pay tribute to him, and I have the privilege and the honor to be able to give this bodhik about Apni Karya Paddhati from the book written by Dattopanji called Karyakarta. And remembering Shri Guruji, who lived by this values and demonstrated in his pratyaksha life of what Sangh Karya Paddhati is and how to be an ideal Karyakarta. So Shat Pranam to Guruji as we begin our bodhik today. These are in fact indeed uncharted waters for me. I've never had to do a review on a book before. Actually, I've done one, but the last time I did was 20 years back when I was in high school, and that was a storybook. And this is much different. The Karyakarta book written by Dattopanji is quite detailed and a very in-depth insight of our Sangha Karya. Every 2 or 3 sentences, in every 2 or 3 sentences, I've had to go into a look for a dictionary or to ask Google for the meaning of various, indeed very in-depth vocabulary of Dattopanji. So it is not easy to transpose such in-depth philosophy over Sangh Karya by Dattopanji into simple English language. But I'll still try my best and try to explain in simple English and in some places a little bit of Hindi as well. Shri Kamalji and Mayurji have already set a very high benchmark, and I will try to live up to those expectations. Let's have a look at the roadmap of where we have reached in this Bodhik series. If you look at the book Karyakarta, it's divided into 3 chapters. The first chapter is Karyakarta Ka Adhishtan, which was covered in 2 sessions by Shri Kamalji. And thereafter, the second chapter, which is slightly longer than the first chapter, is Sangh Karya Paddhati, of which 2 sessions Mayurji has already completed. And I will continue from where he left off and complete this chapter of Sangh Karya Paddhati. And lastly, after all this, after these 2 chapters, the third chapter, which is the longest chapter, is on Karyakarta. And that is yet to come in the series to continue. Just a quick review of what was covered in the last 2 sessions by Mayurji on this same chapter of Sangh Karya Paddhati, which I've listed over here for you to see. Things like wonderful points like just intent is not good enough, and what is the yardstick of sanskars. We later found out that the Swayamsevak does work in the Samaj, that is the actual measurement of our sanskars. and Sangh is not a religion, it's not a panth, and that there should be an up and down, up-down sampark as well as down-up sampark, just like we have in a family. So as we carry on from there, moving on to the next point that is discussed in the book, in the Pustak by Shri Dattopanji, is Sanghatan ka Aadhar Parivarik Bhav. In today's contemporary times and the times that we live in, of course, this book was written about 20 years ago, but still not very different from those days. It is seen that there is lack of discipline all over the world. Or when somebody talks about discipline, often or immediately somebody thinks about dictatorship or some kind of bondage. These two feelings are there about discipline when someone speaks of discipline. However, Sangh works on a completely different dimension compared to these two extremes. Our understanding of Anushasan or discipline is to live in a parivarik environment or parivarik setup. When other institutes think about such method of working, or how can you work with a family kind of setup, how can that even work? This will be an effort which will go in vain, they would say. But in Sangh, we have stuck by this, and our Sangh Karya Paddhati, all of it is literally based on Parivarik Bhav. Others are saying it doesn't work, but let's see if it will work for us by going through the next few points. We are quite familiar with our Sangh Shakha, but when outsiders would look at Sangh Shakha, they would think of it as a gym or a playground. But we know that in the Sangh Shakha, Swayamsevaks maintain personal contact with each other. Muirji talked about the sampark, vyaktigat sampark. When in the time of sadness, in time of happiness, we go to each other's houses. The Swayamsevaks keep in touch. They know about the families. They know what the challenges are in each other's lives. And this way, by keeping such contact, the individual development of a Swayamsevak's guna of parivarikta improves. But moreover, when everybody does this kind of vyavahar with each other in the shaka, a collective bhav of parivarik is developed. So a win-win situation, individual development as well as collective development in shaka. We know that shaka, this parivarik bhav is there in the Sanghasthan, but it's not only in the Sanghasthan, not only in the shaka, it is literally practiced by Swayamsevaks in their daily lives. So we can see that gymnasium and Sangh shakas are way different things. Sangh shaka is a place where we can visualize this parivarik bhav that we talk about in our Sangh Karya Paddhati. It is the parivarik bhav in the happening, we can say, in the Sangh shaka. When Dattopanji came out as a pracharak in his initial days, in his first days as a pracharak, he had to work in Madras. It was then called Madras, but now it is Chennai. So he used to stay there and work for Shaka, increase the number of Shaka, do sampark in Samaj, and meet popular people, talk about Sangh. So in doing so, he met one such sajjan, a very known figure in Chennai. He's called Rajgopalachariji, and he talked to him about Shaka, and Rajgopalachariji asked him, Dattopanji, that yes, Dattopanji, this is good Shaka, but tell me, what exactly is this Sangh of yours? How does it work? What are its, what is its legal framework, and how do you work with it? What are the role and responsibility? So Dattopanji tried to explain, because he was new, he tried to explain in the simple language that any one of us would try to. That we have Shaka, it is a Sanskar Kendra, we have young Swayamsevaks coming, and we have selfless workers who then go and work in the Samaj. This kind of things he explained. And Rajgopalachariji still, he said, okay, fine, yeah, enough. But we could see that he was not completely satisfied with the answer that Dattopanji gave him. Later that year, the annual Sangh Shiksha Varg, which takes place in Nagpur, he went for that, attended it, and there he met Guruji. He talked to Guruji about this, that in my field work when I'm in Chennai, I met this great person, Rajgopalacharya, and I was not able to answer his question. He didn't seem satisfied with what I told him about Sangh. So Guruji said, okay, fine, understood. So Sangh Shiksha Varg went on, and then towards the end of Sangh Shiksha Varg, the Samarop Karyakram happened. And at the end of the Samarop Karyakram, Guruji called Dattopanji and he wrote a letter. He said this letter, brief, very brief letter. He wrote it and he said, give this to Rajgopalacharya. So Dattopanji said, okay, I'll take it. Obviously, he was the courier of the letter, so he didn't read it at first. But later, after Sri Rajgopalacharya read it, he also gave it a read, and he realized that this is such a brief letter. And Rajgopalacharya's doubt was cleared. उसके समस्या, उसके मतलब प्रश्न का समाधान उसको मिल गया था by a very brief sentence which was written by Guruji. He read the letter himself later and he realized what was written. Guruji wrote for Rajgopalacharya ji कि संघ शिक्षा वर्ग चल रहा है, बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, अभी अभी समारोह कार्यक्रम पूर्ण हुआ, उसमें आप भी आते तो अच्छा लगता है, ये सब लिखा. And then towards the end, the last conclusion, in 2 lines, 1 or 2 lines, he wrote, ours, मतलब अपना जो संघ है, ours is a पारिवारिक organization. Ours is a family organization. The difference is only in the degree of it. Means हमारा जो है वो परिवार है. It's a big परिवार, like how we have in our family, in our 5, 6, sometimes 10 people living in the family. But now we're thinking of a family that is all over Bharat. So that is the only difference. It's a big family. And Rajgopalacharya read that and he understood, okay, now I understand what this shaka is. And everything else that Dattopanji told me earlier, it all makes sense now, and now I'm clear. So this kind of understanding of some we have. Now when we talk of a family organization, from time immemorial, since Satyug, we know that family unit, a parivar is the basic, is the primary unit of any sort of samaj, of any sanghatan that you might take. It is the basic unit. This is our Sanskriti. We have always considered this. And in such a parivar, there is no such rules and regulations or guidebook or handbook, manual how to live in a family. It is all understood. Like there is no constitution for it. Everything is laid out and everybody lives with atmiyata, with love, with harmony and understanding and sanghatan. That is how a family is. And there is no need for constitution कि हाँ सुबह उठ के ये इतना करोगे, इतना होगा, ये भोजन बनाएंगे, ये ऑफिस में जाएंगे, ये सब नहीं, सब अंडरस्टैंडिंग रहता है. The constitution in our sense, in our Sangh Karya, we can say is it sort of is just a formality. Obviously, because it's a huge organization, we have to give it as a legal obligation that this is our constitution. But it is basically a formality. If I may try to explain with a simple, loosely connected example, when we go to the supermarket, we want to buy a chocolate. We go to the shelf and we find that the chocolate is there. But the chocolate, for the chocolate to be sold, it is in a wrapper. It is packed in a wrapper. And inside it is a chocolate. So you take the chocolate from there and you buy it with the wrapper. So the wrapper describes it, this is what it is, it was made over here, it is like this, it is like that. And it is basically there just to protect. You're basically going to the supermarket to buy the chocolate, what is inside the wrapper. So ऐसे ही constitution का है, it's just a vastra, it's a cloth, but the heart, the soul, the atma of the this sanghatan is basically the parivarik bhav that we are practicing every day. When we have such a big, there are a few, there is a bit of vyavastha that we need to do. With a family of 5, 10 is good enough. But now when you have a big family all over Bharat, and now of course all over the Vishwa, we need to have some kind of vyavastha. We say we have to have vyaktigat sampark with everyone, from the ordinary swayamsevak in any shaka right up to the Sanghachala. That connection should be there. It is a long link, if I may say, a chain of sampark, vyaktigat sampark. Everybody should know each other. This kind of व्यक्तिगत is unimaginable at such a widespread and a huge organization. So we have a vyavastha for that. In this, I don't think any other organization has such a system which we call the Gat Paddhati. This is probably the most unique thing about Sangh, the Gat Paddhati. In the Gat Paddhati, the Gatnayak is the last link of this Sampark chain. He keeps in touch the Vyaktigat Sampark with the Swayamsevaks of his Gat. And in doing so, upwards he keeps contact Sampark with the Mukhya Shikshak or Shakha Karya. And they in turn keep Sampark with the Nagar Karya. And so on and so forth. I've cut short the tree over there, but it actually continues all the way up to the Sangchala. So such a big frame of Sampark. And Gatnayak is the key person in this Sampark chain because he's the last link and is a very crucial link. When I was very small, in Govind Shyam Sakha, like Jagdishji said, Pravasi Pracharak came to Shakha, and for 10 to 15 minutes we had a small mandal and we talked about Gatnayak. He told us about Gatnayak. Then I remember he said a phrase. He said कि ये जो Gatnayak है, दत्तोपंत जी ने भी बताया अपने पुस्तक में, Gatnayak is not limited to Shakha. He should not just keep in touch. He should not just have sampark with the Swayamsevaks of his Gat. In fact, that is his duty, no doubt. But he should also keep in touch and he should have an outlook of the neighborhood where he lives in, the challenges of where he stays. He should know all the people that live in that area. In fact, all the people should also know him, that he goes to Shakha, is the Gatnayak. So the Pravasi Karyakarta who came to our Shakha and gave us the small talk in the Manda, he said that the Gatnayak he should be the lion of the area. Means everybody should know him and he should know everything that goes on in that area. तो ऐसा अपना पारिवारिक भाव अपने संगठन में है. This is very important kadi in our Sangha Karya Paddhati. Now, this Parivarik Sampark is a unique part of our Sangha. But along with that, Anushasan is a very important part of the Anushasan thereof is also a very important part of Sangha Karya Paddhati. Now, we just discussed how a family works. In a family, the elder or the parent will tell the young children who are growing up, they will discuss कि ऐसा होना चाहिए अपनी family, ऐसा होना चाहिए, हम यहाँ से आए थे, this is how we came as a family, this is what we do, these are the right things to do, these are the wrong things to do. As you grow up, this will be your responsibility. This kind of discussion goes on. It is not a class, you sit down and then you're taught such, but ये understanding रहता है. तो ये छोटे जो बच्चे हैं as they grow, उसका understanding बढ़ता जाता है. This understanding बढ़ना is the important thing. जैसे जैसे understanding बढ़ता है वैसे वैसे अनुशासन बढ़ता है. तो हम एक रूप से ऐसे कह सकते हैं कि ये जब तक ये स्वयंसेवक तो ये पारिवारिक का बात हो गया, तो अभी संघ का बात करें. तो बड़े कार्यकर्ता जो है छोटे कार्यकर्ता के साथ वार्तालाप करे, उसको समझाए और एक दूसरे को समझे, एंड by such interaction and vyavahar, the understanding of the young Karyakarta increase and they understand Sangh Karya. Now the guarantee of Anushasan, we can say, is not by a result or a report card or certificate that is given by, say, the Sangchalak or someone. This Swayamsevak is now fully Anushasanit. But the guarantee of Anushasan lies in the understanding of the Karyakarta. When he has fully understood everything, or as his understanding increases, we can say he's developing as a Karyakarta. But until such a time when he understands everything, from time to time the elder Karyakarta has to give directions, just as even a father would his child. Some direction has to be, some orders have to be given. You do this so that you understand. So uski samajhdari बढ़ती जाती है. When we talk about such orders coming from above, from the big Anubhavi Karyakartas to the small Karyakartas, there is a big caution that we have to be aware of. The person giving the order from above and the person receiving the order, they both have a huge responsibility. The person giving the order should be completely free. He should be nirahankari. I mean, he should not include any of his ego into the direction that he's giving the young Swayamsevak. If he does that, then we can say it's the failure of our Sankarya Pada, and that is not right. Similarly, the person who is receiving the Agnya, he has to fully understand and not follow the instructions blindly. He has a huge responsibility as well of taking that order. And if that order is not of the best interest to the Sanghatan or to the Samaj, and it is directed towards self-interest, then that is very wrong. This will be a major failure of Sankarya Pada. And this does not happen in our Sankarya. तो ऐसे डायरेक्शन फॉलो ब्लाइंडली नहीं करना है और डायरेक्शन देने में भी निरहंकारी होना चाहिए. कई संस्था हमने देखी है कि there is one leader, he is completely निरहंकारी, he is ध्येयनिष्ठ, he is all the good characters, he is a good person, and he now has a following. So there is one leader and the rest are followers. But with this, there is a small sanstha that is created, a very small a team or a small panth, a small community. But we as Sangh, we are not here to make a small organization, or we are not here to make one a leader and the rest just to follow blindly or faithfully, if I may say, sorry. तो संघ का संगठन बनाना है, लेकिन ये संगठन कैसे लोगों का? What kind of people do we want in this sanghatan? So Dattopanji has very in splashed language mentioned these three guns. So if you look at the one leader we were talking about, he probably has all these things. The ability to think in the interest of the Sangh. Chintan karne ki kshamata. That is one thing. He should have industriousness and enthusiasm to do work. He should not be lazy. He should always be on his toes. Karya karne ki karmatata. Karyakarta mein honi chahiye. Or the ability to be able to guide and lead others. Netrutva pradhan karne ka samarthya. These three guns should be there in every karyakarta. So every karyakarta is basically a leader. He is ready to become a leader. तो ऐसे कार्यकर्ताओं का हम संगठन बना रहे हैं. पूरे देशव्यापी संगठन है और पूरे विश्व का, अभी हम विश्व विभाग में है तो पूरे विश्व का संगठन करना है. So we think big, not small. तो ऐसे सब गुण आ जाने से क्या हो सकता है? थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो सकता है, as we might see. When somebody has such great guns to think straight, to always be industrious, karya karne karmarta, and be a leader, be able to guide people in the right direction, then there is a possibility that his self-initiative increases so much. उसकी स्वयं प्रेरणा इतनी बढ़ जाती है कि हाँ, I know this and I can do this certain project, I can go ahead with it and I'd like to do it. Which is good. Sangh encourages this. This is our कार्य पद्धति कि अपने स्वयं प्रेरणा से कुछ करना है. लेकिन ये जो भी करना है, it should be the hit of समाज. It should be for the benefit and the best interest of the समाज and of the संगठन. तो ये स्वयं प्रेरणा इतनी भी न बढ़ जाए कि कार्यकर्ता अनुशासनहीन हो जाए. He completely disregards everything for अनुशासन because he has got such स्वयं प्रेरणा. So that is also wrong. तो अनुशासन और ये स्वयं प्रेरणा का बैलेंस, कितना अनुशासन होना चाहिए? तो इसका एक बैलेंस होना चाहिए. दत्तोपंत has wonderful words. He said स्वयं प्रेरणा और अनुशासन का सुंदर समन्वय. Samanvay is like coordination, or you can say a fine balance should be there. To explain this fine balance, I'll engage you in a small story. There was a cloth merchant. He used to sell clothes. Once in every 2 days, he goes to the market to sell clothes and comes back with the money, with his profit. One day, he was unable to go to the market. He fell ill or he had to go somewhere, so he was unable to go to the market. But he told his employees, his subordinates, कि आज मार्केट में आप दोनों जाओगे और मैं नहीं आ सकूंगा, आप ये कार्य करना, क्लोथ्स बेच के वापस आ जाना. So employees said, okay, fine, no problem, हम करके आएंगे सेठ जी. And they were about to leave. As they were about to leave, the Sethji looks up out of the window and says, "Oh, by the way, it looks like it's about to rain." तो आप एक महत्व का ख्याल रखना कि ये जो the bag of clothes which you have, it should not get wet. Be very careful. This bag of clothes that you have, be very careful of it. Don't let it get wet. तो एम्प्लॉय ने कहा, हाँ ठीक है, बैग ऑफ क्लोथ्स वेट नहीं होने देने। ऐसा करके वो चल पड़े मार्केट की तरफ। And as they were going to the market, sure enough, midway it started raining. They quickly hid under a tree, but it wasn't a good enough shade to protect them from the rain. So the rain was still pouring, seeping in. What they did, they removed all the clothes and they remembered सेठ जी ने बोला था कि बैग ऑफ क्लोथ्स जो है, क्लोथ्स की जो बैग है उसको गीली नहीं होने देना। तो ऐसा करके सब कपड़े निकाल लिया फ्रॉम द थैली और थैली को अंदर रख दिया और कपड़े से भी उस थैली को कवर कर दिया, कपड़े से थैली को कवर कर दिया। एंड दे फेल्ट रिलीव्ड कि ओह गुड, बैग ऑफ क्लोथ्स इज गुड। सो दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ caution that I'm aware of, not to follow instructions blindly. इसके ऊपर एक दो एस्पेक्ट्स आते हैं, हम अपने गीत में भी करते हैं। एक शब्दार्थ होता है और एक भावार्थ होता है। तो शब्दार्थ मतलब एकदम आपने वो उसका जो लिटरल मीनिंग है वो ले लिया। इट्स लाइक वर्किंग लाइक अ मशीन, लाइक अ मैकेनिकली, and that is without thinking, like the two employees of the cloth merchant. Whereas the other thing is the bhavarth. Bhavarth is the spirit of the message. In our Git, the more important is the bhavarth. We always want to know what is the hidden meaning, what is the Git to tell us, the spirit of the message. And that is working with understanding and not like a machine. So the cloth merchants, if the employees, if they would have understood, they would have known that it's the clothes which are important. When I say bag of clothes, it doesn't mean कि थैली को बचाना है। तो ये ख्याल में रखना, एक स्वयं प्रेरणा और अनुशासन। अनुशासन में इतना न रहना कि सिर्फ शब्दार्थ में ही रह जाए कार्यकर्ता, और स्वयं प्रेरणा इतना ना हो जाना कि अनुशासनहीन हो जाए कार्यकर्ता। People outside Shakha, the outsiders, they have a completely different understanding of discipline, or if I may say misunderstanding of discipline. डिसिप्लिन शब्द आया तो लोगों के मन में यही बात आती है कि मिलिट्री एनवायरनमेंट, आर्मी और जकड़बंदी, बॉन्डेज का पिक्चर मगज में आता है। तो ये गलत बात है। कुछ 3 या 4 पैराग्राफ में दत्तोपंत जी ने अच्छी तरह से समझाया कि व्हाट इज आवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ अनुशासन इन आवर संस्कृति, एंड इन सम व्हाट इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ अनुशासन। In fact, the word discipline comes from the word disciple, which is शिष्य of a guru. So गुरु शिष्य का जो व्यवहार है ये डिसिप्लिन है। तो ये जो बॉन्डेज की और मिलिट्री की बात है, ये थोड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन है। So in those 3-4 stanzas that he goes on, and in Sankshepa he gives a understanding of what Anushasan is. I've tried to squeeze the basic out of it and summarize it in this little 2 sentences over here. It is my understanding of it, so there may be some error. It's a humble translation of what Dattopanji thinks is our understanding of Anushasan. So allow me to read from here. So our understanding of Anushasan: one is encouraged to uplift his or her life with his own capabilities. In fact, this is our duty. Okay, we have to encourage people कि आपको जो आता है उससे आप अपना जीवन उत्थान कीजिए. However, while uplifting his life, one should look beyond and think of the best and welfare of the community, and identify his success and his glory with that of the societies and become one with it. इसका अर्थ क्या हुआ कि हाँ, आपको जो आता है, आपकी जो क्षमता है, उससे आप आपका जीवन उत्थान कीजिए, डेवलप इट, थोड़ा ऊपर स्तर है आपका जीने का। लेकिन ऐसे करते समय ये भी ख्याल में रखिए कि सिर्फ अपना उत्थान नहीं, समाज का डेवलपमेंट, समाज का प्रोग्रेस, समाज के हित में जो कार्य है वैसा कुछ करना है। और जब समाज का सफलता होगा और उसका गौरव होगा, तो अपना गौरव भी उसी समाज के गौरव के साथ जोड़ लेना। ये जब होगा तो ये जब मानसिकता आएगी लोगों में, अपने कार्यकर्ता शासन है और ये आ गया है, ऐसा करने पे ये जो हमने डिस्क्राइब किया दत्तोपंत जी का, इसमें कहीं बॉन्डेज का क्वेश्चन नहीं है। देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ बॉन्डेज। सो दिस इज आवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ अनुशासन इन भगवद गीता। बिफोर इन महाभारत, बिफोर द कुरुक्षेत्र वॉर, Arjun became nervous. He had illusion. He was unsure of his duty. He didn't want to fight. So he asked Krishna, what exactly, why were you fighting? He asked many questions. तो ये गीता में पूरे 18 चैप्टर्स के लिए ये वार्तालाप होती रही, डिस्कशन बिटवीन अर्जुन एंड कृष्णा, डिबेट, डिस्कशन, चर्चा, क्वेश्चन आंसर, अर्जुन कीप्स आस्किंग क्वेश्चन, कृष्णा कीप्स ऑन आंसरिंग इट। तो ऐसा चलता रहा until 18 chapter. Towards the end of Gita, at the 18th chapter, Krishna now tells them, now you have understood everything that there was to be understood regarding your state of your position over here. Now you make your decision. Krishna told him. Krishna never told him कि हाँ ये करो, करना ही है, ये यही अच्छा कार्य है और धर्म का भाग, ऐसा नहीं कहा। अर्जुन की अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ाई, अर्जुन का समझ का स्तर बढ़ाया। और ऐसा अर्जुन जब अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ इक्विप था, तब ही वाज एबल टू मेक अ डिसीजन कि हाँ Vasudeva, you've told the right thing, this is the right thing, and I'm now no longer in illusion. I am now no longer nervous. I know of my duty, what is the right thing to do, and I will do as you tell me. तो ऐसा ये अनुशासन है। Krishna told him, you raise someone's understanding and then you leave him there, let him make his decision. Very strange. This kind of discipline, it is not seen anywhere else in the world. Further, another simpler example that Dत्तोपंत has given in the book towards the end of this topic, he says, अनुशासन वास्तव में उत्तम वही है जिसमें आपस में अच्छी समझ है। मतलब the discipline is good only where there is good understanding in the team between two people or the Shakha Toli, when there is good understanding between each of them, between each other, and also the understanding about the Sankarya. Then we can say there is good understanding there. So in short, we can say this Parivarik Anushasan, understanding is Anushasan. ये समझ लानी हमारे मन में about संकार्य, ये ही अनुशासन है। ऐसे बहुत से लीडर हो सकते हैं कि ध्येयनिष्ठ है, निरहंकारी है, पूरा समर्पित कर दिया है अपना जीवन, और ऐसे नेता यदि कुछ कहे कि ऐसे करना है हमको, ये कार्य हमको करना है, तो उसके फॉलोअर जो रहेंगे वो ऑब्वियसली कहेंगे कि हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक है, आप जैसा कहेंगे वैसा हम कहेंगे, बिकॉज ही हैज दैट गुण, ही हैज दैट कैरेक्टर इन हिम टू बी एबल टू tell somebody what to do. Despite we have such karyakartas in our Sangh as well, but this is not the way we follow in Sangh. It's not the Sangh karya. In Sangh, we do not give adesh. We do charcha of any decision. We discuss it. There are 3 reasons why we do this. ठीक है, मतलब Dr. Ji knows well, Guru Ji knows well, he can just tell us what to do. But why we don't do this in Sangh? Because of these 3 points. बैठक में चर्चा करने से जो सही डिसीजन है वो सभी के मन में आए, सबके कॉन्फिडेंस में लेना है, bring everyone into confidence of that decision. That is the reason why we don't just point things and say कि ऐसा करना है, कल ऐसा करना है, नहीं, we have to discuss in the बैठक. Also, another reason is someone might not know why we are doing this. तो जो हम निर्णय ले रहे हैं उसका जस्टिफिकेशन क्या है, इसका जस्टिफिकेशन सबके मन में आए, ये जानना जरूरी है. Then people will be able to understand, all the कार्यकर्ता कि हाँ this is the right thing to do, ये अच्छा डिसीजन और ये हमने डिसीजन दिया. ऐसा एक छोटा सा उदाहरण में दे सकता हूँ कि ये अपने घोष संसद जो है कैन रिलेटेड कि ध्वजरोपण हम जो हम जाते हैं तो अपने ज्येष्ठ अधिकारी सभी ने पहले से कहा है, मतलब बैठक में ही डिसाइड हुआ, लेकिन उन्होंने पहले से कहा कि ये ध्वजरोपण जो है ये रचना नहीं है, दिस इज अ थिंग टू, it is tune that will only play when in the shakha, when the dhwaj is going up. It is a dhwaj ropana. It is only going to play when the dhwaj is going up, not anywhere else. You can't just take your flute and play to your friends or in a stage program. मनोरंजन के लिए ऐसा नहीं है. तो बहुत समय के लिए कुछ स्वयंसेवक को नहीं पता था कि क्यों ऐसा, why like that. It's such a nice very harmonic melodious tune. You can play for मनोरंजन. But no, then the reason was explained. Okay, Dhwajropan is actually a mantra. What we do in the flute is actually a mantra. It describes our great Bhagavad Dhwaj. It is a praise for the Bhagavad Dhwaj. So we cannot play it in any random kind of environment where people are doing anything or behaving anyhow. That is not the right thing. So that is why Dhwajropan. तो ऐसा अगर समझ में लोग को है तो then that is the reason why we have to do charcha, not adesh. Finally, when somebody has such power to give so much of ajnas all the time, because he's in that position, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, then everybody thinks there is a lot of power kendrit on that swayamsevak, on that karyakarta, and that in the future can lead to indifferences, problems of uch neech ka और भेदभाव का ये हो सकता है. So to take care of this, हमने पहले से ही डॉक्टर जी, गुरु जी ने ये ध्यान में रखते हुए ये कहा है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई अच्छा कार्य करता है तो उसको आदेश देना है, डायरेक्शन देते जाना है. ये सब बैठक में डिसाइड होगा. In 1926, on 17th of July, which was a few months after Sangh was actually started, 25 October, so about 8 months after Shakha was started, there was a बैठक that took place in Nagpur with 27 Swayamsevaks. So Dr. Ji was in this बैठक, and along with him 26 other Swayamsevaks who were all younger than him. They were definitely less anubhavi than Dr. Ji. So in this बैठक, Dr. Ji called this बैठक and said, okay, yeah, this बैठक we will need to finalize the name of our Sangathan. We've been going on for months, but now let's officially name it. तो ये बैठक में कुछ नाम के शॉर्ट लिस्ट हुए थे. भारतोद्धारक मंडल, झरी पताका मंडल और राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ. ये 3 नाम शॉर्ट लिस्ट हुए थे और ये बैठक में डिसाइड करना था कि अब फाइनली क्या रखें. तो इस बैठक में एक कुछ उस समय के ज्येष्ठ कार्यकर्ता थे, सावलापुरकर जी. He was basically, if I say, hung out with Dr. Ji all the time. डॉक्टर जी जहाँ भी जाते थे, संपर्क में जाते थे, शाखा प्रवास में जाते थे, तो उनके साथ ही रहते थे सावलापुरकर जी. So because of staying with Dr. Ji for so many years, so many days, his understanding of Sangh increased. उसकी समझ बढ़ गई कि क्या है ये संघ, what is our point of view, how we should think, क्या हमारा दायित्व है समाज में, ये सब. तो सावलापुरकर जी was part of that बैठक and he gave us a small speech, and finally after the speech he said कि ये हमारे संघ का नाम राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं है, ये राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ नाम डॉक्टर जी ने विचार के रखा था, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि डॉक्टर जी ने उनको बताया कि सावलापुरकर जी बैठक में आप थोड़ा बोलना और ठीक रहेगा. जी बिकॉज ऑफ हिज अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ संघ ही सेड कि ये सब नामों में से स्वयंसेवक संघ अच्छा रहेगा नाम. तो ऐसे हमारे संघ कार्य पद्धति में निर्णय लिए जाते हैं और ये सब आयाम देखते हुए हम कह सकते हैं कि दिस इज पारिवारिक अनुशासन. अलग नेक्स्ट बिंदु जो है इस पुस्तक में रिगार्डिंग अपनी कार्य पद्धति इज द निर्णय प्रक्रिया के आयाम. यू कैन सी व्हाट आई मीन बाय हार्ड वर्ड्स. निर्णय प्रक्रिया के आयाम, बेसिकली द डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस दैट गो इनटू प्ले व्हाइल टेकिंग अ डिसीजन. भगवान स्वयं ने कहा है कि में कुछ न कुछ दोष, सभी कार्य कुछ न कुछ दोषों से युक्त है. Every action that you take has some effect, has some downside of it, or some, some cons, pros and cons. So everything that you do has something attached to it. So there has to be, while taking a decision, there has to be a fine balance of trying to get the best out of it while taking care of getting the least disadvantage from a decision. An example closer home to us is the 2015 International Yoga Din that we celebrated. When the Yoga Din was celebrated for almost 6 months, most of our Karyakartas were all busy in just taking care of this 1 3-hour program that was going to take place. For 6 months, almost everyone was busy. पूरा effort, पूरा energy संघ का इसमें लगा दिया। तो कुछ स्वयंसेवकों को ऐसा कहना रहा होगा और कहा होगा कि ये क्या है, आपको पता नहीं संघ कार्यपति शाखा इज बेसिस संस्कार के यहीं से तो हमारे संघ चल रहे, शाखा को क्यों छोड़ के हम ये अन्य कार्यक्रम करें, ऐसा विचार आया होगा। लेकिन जैसे यहाँ का सभी कार्य को कुछ न कुछ दोष से युक्त है, so going to gain from this अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिन which we will celebrate was way more than the damage that we were getting from not continuing our delays. शाखा कंटिन्यू बट संख्या थोड़ी कम थी ऐसा। तो ये बैलेंस देखना चाहिए। अभी ये योग दिन हमने 2015 में किया, तो अभी उसका मोमेंटम अभी भी दिख रहा है कि every June 21st the योग दिन is still being done at a large scale. Imagine if we did not do it. तो ये समाज के लिए था. This was a कार्य for the समाज and it had to be done. So निर्णय has to be taken in that way. कुरुक्षेत्र में महाभारत में जो युद्ध होने वाला था कुरुक्षेत्र में, उससे अच्छा होने वाला था. It was a धर्म युद्ध. But look at the downside of it. Bhishma Pitama was going to die. Guru Drona was going to die. So many moms were going to become sonless. So many wives were going to become widows. So many kids were going to become without fathers. So such a big loss. But still, after weighing it, we need to we realize that this needs to. तो ऐसा ध्यान में रखना है. कोई भी डिसीजन है तो उसमें थोड़ा दुर्गुण रहेगा और उसमें गुण भी रहेगा. अपने कार्य में सेंट्रल डिसीजन लिया जाता है. सेंट्रल डिसीजन लेने के लिए ऐसे ही नहीं होता है कि ये करना है, चलो पूरे केन्या में ये चालू करना है, ऐसा नहीं होता है. देयर इज अ लॉट दैट गोज इनटू टेकिंग अ डिसीजन. जब एक सेंट्रल डिसीजन लिया जाता है तब पूरे लोकल सिचुएशन क्या है, मतलब किसुमू में क्या सिचुएशन है, उधर की स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, उधर की वीकनेस क्या है, वहाँ के लोगों की कल्चर क्या है, वहाँ कैसे लोग रहते हैं. वैसे ही मोम्बासा में, वैसे माउंट केन्या में क्या लोगों की मानसिकता है, व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन ऑन द ग्राउंड, देन यू हैव टू टेक दिस डिसीजन. ये सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए श्री दत्तोपंत जी ठेंगड़े का एक एग्जाम्पल है. एक भोपाल में एक बैठक हुई, भोपाल में एक बैठक हुई. वी नो दैट दत्तोपंत जी ठेंगड़े वाज द फाउंडर ऑफ भारतीय मजदूर संघ. तो मजदूर संघ बन गया था, उनका नामकरण था. नामकरण की एक बैठक रखी थी भोपाल में. तो भारत के सभी कार्यकर्ता आए थे भोपाल में और वहाँ पे ये नाम का करना था. तो दत्तोपंत जी ने पहले से ही सोच लिया था कि हाँ ये सब नाम तो ठीक है, बट उन्होंने एक अच्छा सा नाम सोचा था कि भारतीय श्रमिक संघ, ऐसा नाम सोचा. यानी थॉट कि ये अच्छा ही रहेगा, इज नो डाउट अबाउट, नो वन विल इवन से नो टू इट. So he prepared all the documents and all the literature for the Baitak, and he went to the Baitak. And in that Baitak, there was a Jesht Karyakarta of that time, Jesht Pracharak of those times. He was from Bengal. He was called. तो में जो है ये श्रमिक नाम बहुत चलता है. So he thought कि ये, तो जब बात रखी गई कि भारतीय श्रमिक संघ नाम रखेंगे, तो जो नॉर्थ से आए हुए कार्यकर्ता थे उन्होंने कहा कि ये ठीक है, लेकिन नॉर्थ में प्रोनाउंसिएशन श्रमिक का इतना अच्छा नहीं रहेगा. तो क्या हो जाएगा कि लोग आगे चलते चलते भारतीय श्रमिक संघ हो जाएगा. दिस विल बी क्वाइट डिसग्रेसफुल फॉर आवर करियर. इट विल बी रॉन्ग बिकॉज श्रमिक के अशाई संघ. तो दिस विल नॉट बी अ गुड नेम. सो Dattopant ji looked towards Banerjee thinking he will support him कि हाँ श्रमिक रखो क्योंकि बंगाल में अच्छा. Banerjee stood up and said कि हाँ बंगाल में ये नाम चलता है, श्रमिक अच्छा भी रहता है, लेकिन उत्तर के कार्यकर्ता जो है और वहाँ की परिस्थिति है, वहाँ पे ये नाम अपना बिगड़ जाएगा, ये ठीक नहीं रहेगा. तो इस हिसाब से हम इसका नाम भारतीय मजदूर संघ रखें. तो इससे ये नाम रखा गया. कहीं कहीं हम सुनते हैं कुछ कंपनीज में और when working in our company, general political scene also, and those top managers, they don't know anything. They just air condition office. ऐसी बात आती है कभी कभी सुनने में. तो ये संघ में ऐसा ना हो. कैसे नहीं होगा? Because in some days a two-way communication. Okay, लोकल कार्यकर्ताओं की क्या सिचुएशन है और सेंटर में क्या डिसीजन लिए जाते हैं, ये दोनों का कम्युनिकेशन रहता है और संपर्क रहता है. ऐसे ये नहीं होगा. अगर ऊपर के कार्यकर्ता जो है वो नहीं जानेंगे कि लोकल का सिचुएशन क्या है, तो ये एक तरह से हमारे संघ कार्य पद्धति का फेलियर होगा. एंड दिस डजंट हैपन. हाँ, इतना बड़ा देश है अखिल भारतीय, इसमें पूरा सभी को अकोमोडेट करना इज नॉट प्रैक्टिकल. सम प्लेसेस और द अदर्स विल बी अफेक्टेड. They will everywhere will not be 100%, and that is why we have local teams, the tolly of each local area, of each shakha as well. The local tollies are there for a reason. They have to think about the सूचना that is coming from the center. अखिल भारतीय की जो सूचना आएगी वो हमारे रीजन में कैसे सूट होगी, थोड़ा इसको एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा. हमारे इधर ये फॉलो करेंगे तो शाखा ही बंद हो जाएगी, ऐसी परिस्थिति ना हो जाए. So that would be very wrong. तो ऐसे सूचना ऊपर से आई हुई सेंटर की ये भी ब्लाइंडली फॉलो नहीं करना, लेकिन कम्युनिकेशन रहना चाहिए कि देखो हमारे यहाँ ये सिचुएशन है, आपने सूचना तो दी, ठीक है, लेकिन हम ऐसा ऐसा करेंगे. Another example closer to home was last year we had a संपर्क अभियान in I think the whole of Kenya. तो सभी शाखा के स्वयंसेवक अपने अपने नेबरहुड में जाना है और वहाँ पे संपर्क करना है और उनको जानकारी देनी है कि संघ एक्चुअली क्या है. और सिर्फ संघ की शाखा ही नहीं, उनके पारिवारिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी, उनकी जानकारी देना और कांटेक्ट लेना और ये एक लिस्ट बनाना, ऐसा अभियान चला था. तो एक शाखा है यहाँ पे नैरोबी में, शिवाजी सायम शाखा. इट इज अ वेरी यंग शाखा. उनको शाखा ही क्या है, संघ ही क्या है, यही नहीं पता, तो संपर्क करने कैसे जाए. तो ये परिस्थिति जानना जरूरी है. शिवाजी स्वयं शाखा से इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस वी विल डू आवर ओन संपर्क एंड वी विल do a Swayamsevak Sampark, at least that much we can do. And this communication was there between the center and the Shakha Karya. So these local teams are very important in this Nirnay Prakriya. So as these local teams develop more and more, उनका understanding बढ़ता जाता है, then they raise शाखा लेवल से नगर लेवल में आते हैं, नगर लेवल से केंद्रीय लेवल में आते हैं, केंद्रीय लेवल से अखिल भारतीय या तो विश्व विभाग, कुछ भी कर लो. तो ऐसा होता है. ये समझाने के लिए एक we can illustrate using this mountain climbing example. When a trekker is climbing a mountain, initially when he's just about to climb, he looks around and he can't see much. He's just seeing trees and he really can't see a lot. When he climbs a little bit higher, a few hundred feet more, a few thousand feet more, then he looks around, he can see, yes, I can see the buildings, I can see the trees below me, I can see a bit more than I could see when I was down there. Then he continues up and reaches right at the peak of the mountain. And from there, when he looks, he can see, oh, I can see everything now. I can see everything. Basically, I have an understanding of everything around me. So it's not like that those buildings and those trees were not there before, or his eyes have suddenly become powerful. It's because his level has increased. His understanding has increased. This Karyakarta, as he goes climbing the mountain, he's able to make a better, a more well-informed decision as he goes higher up the mountain. This kind of decision making is very key, and it is key why? Because it involves the whole Samaj in making any decision, no matter how small decision it might be. This team that we talked about is basically called an Ekatma Niti Nirdharak Gut. Gut or Toli, these are interchangeable words. It's a team. So every shaka should have a team like this. So one Karyakarta cannot keep track of the strength and the weakness and the environment of his local area and the people around him, the culture, and while keeping this in mind, also making the best decision in the confines of the Sankarya Paddhati. It is difficult for one person. So for this reason, we need to have a Toli. How should this Toli be, one might ask? So Toli is explained by, if you can recall the East Chintan संगठन मंत्र से लेकर जोहोमी अंटोली should be like, okay, सभी एक समान बोलना चाहिए, सबके विचार एक जैसे होना चाहिए, everybody should be in the same synchronized thought process, everybody should be ध्येयनिष्ठ, निरहंकारी, and they should have विश्वास with each other, they should build confidence within them, and आत्मीयता should be there. In such a team there will be various karyakartas, they'll be strong in something but weak in another. I think Mayurji explained this in another topic. Strong in something, weak in another. When a toli is formed, the weaknesses of these karyakartas are suppressed, but the good points and the goals of all these karyakartas are seen and they are magnified. After this kind of toli is made, when they make a decision, this decision-making mind that is there, the collective mind, is called the Samuhik Manas. This Samuhik Manas concept is important in our Karya Paddhati. And when the Samuhik Manas makes a decision, then this is the decision that is followed. तो ऐसे सभी टोली शाखा लेवल से लेकर सभी अखिल भारतीय लेवल तक होनी चाहिए, ऐसे सब गुट, but they all have the same thinking because of the kind of understanding that they have and the kind of sync that they have with each other. Next topic is युवा कंधों पर बुजुर्ग मस्तिष्क. This is self-explanatory, there is not much to say here, but the body should be that of a young person and the mind should be that of a experienced person. The Jesht Anubhavi Karyakartas in our Sangh, they play a very crucial role in our Karya. But due to age and some social responsibilities, they don't take a very active and executive role in the daily running of the Sangh Karya. But there has to be always this interaction between the young Karyakartas and Jesht Adhikaris. What kind of vyavahar should it be? Is it constitutional? No. Again, it is parivarik. It is like a family. Like how a young kid would go to the grandfather or a son would go to his father के क्या होना चाहिए, what is the best direction. तो ऐसे रहता है अपने कार्य में. ऐसा करने से दो सावधानी हमें रहनी चाहिए दोनों तरफ से. जो young ones है उनको ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि they should always consult ज्येष्ठ अधिकारी से, और जो ज्येष्ठ अधिकारी है उनको they should avoid this do that approach के ऐसा करो वैसा करो, ये माइक्रो मैनेजिंग का ये नहीं करना चाहिए, ये सावधानी हमें रहनी चाहिए. और ट्रेडिशन पे नहीं अटा रहना चाहिए कि ऐसे ही हम करते आए सालों से, ये ऐसे ही करना, ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. दैट इज नॉट. बट दिस body that we are seeing, the head of Anubhavi Jesht Karyakarta and the body of a youth, this is the ideal toli that we need in our Sangh Karya. Over the years, since 1925, we have been running shakhas, we've been doing our Sanghada. In fact, now it has grown so much that it's not, you can't hide it anymore. Everybody knows about it. So over the years, we've been doing the same thing, working with the same siddhantas, fundamentals, tattvagnya, and our Karya Paddhati. It has developed an intrinsic strength. There is a hidden strength, like how we say in our Pratna, we need Atma Samarthya, something, the strength from within that we get. So our Sangh Karya Paddhati also has this strength. आंतरिक शक्ति जिसे दत्तोपंत जी ने इधर कहा है. तो ये जो शक्ति है इसे हम कैसे नापे? How do you measure such a strength? Is it in the numbers? Is it in the numbers of स्वयंसेवक that come to Shada? Let's find out. तो मार्केट में कुछ 500 लोग हैं. There are 500 people in the street and there are 500 people also in the shakha. 500 people on the street or in the market, they maintain their individual identity. Someone's a doctor, another one's an engineer, one's a father of five, another one's this, another one's that, a lawyer. ऐसे सब अपना अपना अस्तित्व रखते हुए, अपना अहम ईगो रखते हुए अपना कार्य करते हैं मार्केट में जो भी करना है. लेकिन संघ की शाखा में जो 500 स्वयंसेवक है वो अपना स्वयं का अस्तित्व, पूरा संघ का जो अस्तित्व सामूहिकता का, मतलब के all the swimsuits are dhyaniष्ठ, they know what the goal is, they know which path to take, they're in sync, their thought process is the same. This kind of mansikta, they have shed all their ego, their personal ego, and they have developed a collective ego. 500 people with a collective ego and 500 people with individual egos. Who do you think, or where do you think the strength is? So this moving from aham to vayam, ye yatra from aham to vayam is the highlight of our Sankarya Padhati. And it will go ahead to explain what is the strength of our Sangatana. Is it Sankhya or is it otherwise? Those who were taking physics or have done chemistry, they know of a difference between the mixture. They know the difference between a mixture and compound. Mixture को आप ले लो, mixture क्या कहता है? Mixture, a simple example if I give in the kitchen, खिचड़ी रहती है. खिचड़ी में क्या होता है कि rice and मूंग का mixture होता है. When you mix it also, you mix it as much as you want, but after you stop mixing, you can still see कि हाँ, there is rice there and there is मूंग there. You can still differentiate the two. So दोनों ने अपना अपना अस्तित्व still मेंटेन रखा है, मूंग ने और राइस ने. परंतु कंपाउंड क्या होता है? कंपाउंड इज व्हेन यू टेक वन element, another element, and you mix them together, and those two elements, they give up their personal identity, they give up their astitva and form a third third compound, a third thing which is completely different from what they were before. And this third thing which they form is more stronger than any of those two things individually. जैसे कि स्टील को लिया जाए, बिल्डिंग में सब जगह स्टील यूज होता है. स्टील इज मेड फ्रॉम आयरन एंड कार्बन. आप स्टील को लेकर इससे हम देखना ट्राई करें कि ये स्टील, हाँ दिस आई कैन सी आयरन, दिस आई कैन सी कार्बन. ऐसा नहीं होता है. यू कांट नो कि इसमें आयरन है या इसमें कार्बन, ये स्टील ही है. ऐसा कंपाउंड बनता है. आयरन और कार्बन ने अपना अस्तित्व छोड़ दिया है. वैसे ही ब्रोंज रहता है, कॉपर और टिन का जो कंपाउंड बनता है. After becoming bronze, it becomes even stronger than copper or tin alone. It has more gunatva, it has more characteristic and is more useful in the industry and in the electrical field than copper or tin alone would have. Believe it or not, maths explains our Sankarya Padhati in just one permutation. Those who are very good at maths might enjoy this example. So in algebra, we have a and b. a and b अलग अलग रख के आप उनको स्क्वायर करो तो क्या मिलेगा? a squared and b squared. ऐसा रहेगा. लेकिन यदि आप a और b को पहले से ही जोड़ दो, ये दोनों को पहले से इनका संगठन कर लो. कैसे? a plus b और इनको ब्रैकेट में रख लो. ऐसा करने से क्या होगा हम देखते हैं. ये a और b को पहले से ही जोड़ दिया और उसके बाद उसको स्क्वायर किया, तो हम देख सकते हैं कि पहले जो a स्क्वायर प्लस b स्क्वायर है वो तो है ही उनके पास, but because of coming together and then working, there is this extra element that has come into play, the 2ab, which was missing earlier. So this explains our Sankarya Padhati. This is aham to vayam, giving up your personal astitva and moving towards a collective ahankar, samuhik ahankar, which is vayam. So this algebra explains our Sankarya Padhati in just one step. ऐसा लगता है कि संगठन की शक्ति जो है, it is hidden, it is hiding in this journey, in this यात्रा of aham to vayam. अहम से वयम की जो यात्रा है उसी में अपने संगठन की शक्ति का जो नापतोल है इसमें छिपा हुआ है. जब चुनाव आता है, elections are coming, the politicians get very excited. They go around, do campaign and try to get the great number of votes. जहाँ पर बहुमत होगा, where there will be बहुमत, that politician will win. These people who have agreement about something is called बहुमत. Okay, ज़्यादा संख्या में many people believe, agree on one thing, is Bahumat. But Sangh does not work with this kind of approach. Bahumat politicians and elections. Sangh Karyapati does not rely on Bahumat. It relies on Siddhanta, it relies on Dharma, it relies on truth, on fundamentals. In the first chapter of this Pustak, Dattopanji explained about Copernicus, which Kamalji also explained in his sessions of Adhishtan. Copernicus was a Polish scientist. He did research for 35 years continuous. He kept on pura shram kiya, tapasya ki, and he came up with a research, and then he gave the answer to the world saying that, look, the sun is in the center and the earth is around it. This is the truth, and this is my research I found out. And those days, in the Bible, it is written that earth is in the center and the sun is around. So Copernicus was saying, he was talking blasphemy about the Bible. This is frowned upon by everyone. Everyone didn't like this. तो उनको एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया, उनका जो फिलोसॉफी था उनको बैन कर दिया पूरे यूरोप में. तो उसके डेथ बेड पे था, तब उसका जो रिसर्च था, his colleagues took over, he said, okay, we'll carry on from here, and Copernicus passed away. A few years later, Bruno and Galileo, Italian scientists, came up, and they also said the same thing. Yes, we've done research, and sun is in the center, and earth goes around it. And this was again against the Bible. So the Pope and the पूरा Christian community, ये सब उनके against हो गया, और ब्रूनो को तो जिंदा जला दिया चिता पे. He was burnt alive because what nonsense you're talking, blasphemy against the Bible. And Galileo also said the same. He was imprisoned for lifetime in the jail. So it was not like Baron. So Bahumat was, everybody was in agreement. No, you keep quiet. Bible is correct. Earth is in the center, and everything else goes around it. This is what we all think. So Bahumat was saying this. But is that the Shakti? Right now we know, after the death of Galileo, Bruno, Copernicus, they're not here anymore. But we know that that was the truth, no matter what the Bahumat said. Right now also in our books we study that solar system, sun is in the center. तो संगठन की शक्ति संख्या में नहीं, ऐसा दत्तोपंत जी ने कहा, और ऐसा हमको समझ में भी आ सकता है फ्रॉम दिस एग्जाम्पल. मराठी काव्य संत तुकाराम ने कहा है, सत्य असत्यासी मन केले ग्वाही, मानियले नाही बहुमता. Means the truth that you have experienced from within with your pure mind, if you have experienced that truth and you know this is the truth, then forget Bahumat. Don't worry about the Bahumat. Take the word of your man. Your man is saying, take its word. And that is exactly what we have seen in these examples. If you tell a fire, many people will tell fire, fire from now on, we all agree that you will have to be not give light, and you'll have to give coldness. You will have to give darkness. ऐसा आपका रहेगा अभी, because we all agreed on this. So this can't happen, because the gun dharma of fire is to give kushalta, to give warmth, and to give prakash, light. So this cannot, even if Bahumat says, I cannot give up. So truth will always remain, like Sant Tukaram ji has said. So अपनी भी संगठन की शक्ति जो है, अपने कार्य पद्धति की जो आंतरिक शक्ति है, उसके ऊपर निर्धारित है, अपने पारिवारिक भाव के ऊपर निर्धारित है. तो ये 6 पॉइंट आज कवर हुए हैं यहाँ पे. जस्ट क्विकली अगर हम रिव्यू करें कि क्या क्या पॉइंट्स थे, तो एक तो था संगठन का आधार पारिवारिक भाव. दूसरा, पारिवारिक अनुशासन, अपने संघ में क्या अनुशासन का understanding, what is our understanding of Anushasana and what is the misunderstanding of outsiders of what is Anushasana. And then Nirnay Prakriya ke ayam, how decision making is taken and what points go into considered when we're making decisions. एकात्म नीति निर्धारक गुट, a local team, a Shakha Toli is a very important part of this Sangha Karya. And Yuva Kando par Buzurg Mastishk, a young body to do work, ऐसा मानस से हमारा कार्य आगे बढ़ेगा. And lastly, we looked at the point थी संख्या में नहीं, of aham to vayam and तो ये 6 पॉइंट हमने देखे और अभी 5 पॉइंट रह जाते हैं in this chapter of कार्य पद्धति, which will be covered in the next Friday, I believe. तो इतना कहने से I hope एटलीस्ट आपको थोड़ा मोटिवेशन मिला होगा कि ये पुस्तक पढ़नी चाहिए. That also will be a great success of this thing. तो इधर लिखा है मैंने queries, but it's a norm to write queries at the end of these days. So I've written it. But if you have any question, I'll listen to them and maybe I'll answer them in the coming days, or I will let an experienced Karyakata answer for you. Namaskar.
Any closing remarks from anyone?
Deepak ji. Namaskar.
Yes. Namaskar.
Very well done. Today's Bodhik was extremely.
Okay, धन्यवाद. It's good. It's basically what I read from the book. I've just summarized the book, but thanks for the kind words.
Very well done and keep it up.
Okay, we'll end the meeting here. Let's meet next Friday at the same time.